Hey guys, Chris here with the 2017 Buick Encore I've been driving around this week. This is an interesting car. I like the size of it. It's nimble enough to be kind of a little bit of a city car. Let's look at some of the trunk space in the back here. I mean, you kind of get just a little bit more room in this size vehicle than you would in a normal hatchback. Just a little bit higher up. Almost a full-size spare, it looks like. Lots of headroom. My dad has a little bit of trouble bending his neck sometimes, and he has a really easy time getting into this car. You barely have to stoop at all, which is nice. Rear headrests are a little funky, you have to raise them up, but lots of room back here. Tons of headroom, lots of space. Decent amount of legroom with my seating position. It's definitely pretty comfortable back here. One thing I will say about this car that I unfortunately can't show you is it does have a bumping sound system. Really clear, crisp, clean audio, and really nice treble and nice, just overall, it's a very good listening experience. And it helps that it's a pretty quiet car inside. It's a pretty quiet interior. A lot of nice noise isolation. It is a little bit drizzly today, so I apologize in advance for the rain and just the noise associated with that, but it's the way it goes. These seats are pretty comfortable. I've got an armrest next to me that folds up and down. You do notice that you've got a nice high driving position in this. So one thing I would kind of liken this segment of car too is you kind of get the high driving position of an SUV, but the nimbleness of a hatchback or smaller city car. I mean, the 1.4 liter turbocharged Ecotec is powerful enough. There isn't a lot of power, and actually it feels more naturally aspirated than turbocharged. There isn't any turbo lag. One nice thing is it does kind of make up for its lack of overall power with a really pretty responsive, the transmission is pretty quick to shift. Really no complaints there. I mean, I think
caution, I-96 narrow lanes.
For some reason it keeps telling me that here. I don't know why. All week it's been the same thing. But yeah, so nice responsive transmission, shifts pretty quickly. I mean, it's not gonna, the power isn't gonna knock your socks off, but it's enough. Brake feel is fine, nice confident feeling pedal. And then of course you've got start stop, auto stop that turns on during traffic lights to save a little bit of fuel. We do have automatic rain sensing wipers, which I've used a lot this week because we've had a lot of rain. But generally I would say, this is a pretty comfortable car. I've been driving it throughout the week, and there aren't really any complaints that I have. I mean, for what it is, it's very good. I think maybe the price is a little bit high. I'm not sure I'm convinced on how good or dynamic or confidence-inspiring the all-wheel drive is. To be perfectly honest, this whole time I kind of thought it was front-wheel driven until I looked at the Monroney. Of course you'd notice in the more slippery situations, handling is pretty good. I mean, this does have a pretty high center of gravity, but again, like I said, you can kind of expect this to handle like a smaller car. There isn't a lot of torque from the engine, so you do find yourself the transmission's downshifting a little bit whenever you want to accelerate, whenever you want to make a pass. And it's doing that quite frequently. Gas mileage, you'd think you'd kind of make up for it in fuel economy. Not really. I've been getting about 25 miles to the gallon, at least on the readout, no matter what I do, which isn't bad, but it isn't great. I feel like from a car in this segment these days with engine technology and fuel saving measures, you should be able to be getting at least 30 especially from a 1.4 liter engine. But I think that kind of ties into that this is all-wheel drive, and that when you have an all-wheel drive car, you're running a less efficient drivetrain. So I guess that makes sense. What else do we have here? So highway's very comfortable. Feels very stable up here at 70 miles an hour. Not a lot of wind noise, not a lot of NVH. Ride is comfortable. Cruising at just about 2200 RPM, 2300 RPM in 6th gear at 70 miles an hour. Test the brakes there. Nice responsive brakes. All cars have good brakes these days. Not pushing it a whole lot around these corners because it is cold and wet tonight. Actually it's morning. It's this morning. So testing the all-wheel drive system out of a corner, you're getting some front wheel slip. But it looks like then it starts sending power to the back. But again, this doesn't necessarily feel all-wheel driven. You don't have that surge of power that you would expect from an all-wheel drive car, which is kind of interesting. So maybe. All right, guys. Well, that's kind of basically all I have to say about the Buick Encore. I think for this market, if you're interested in just a nice daily driver that looks like the Encore, maybe the visuals are a little bit. I think it's a funky looking vehicle. It's not necessarily good looking, but it's got a little bit of personality. And if that's what you're looking for, check it out. Seems like it drives decently. It does have a really good sound system that I've enjoyed bumping around in, and it's just made for a nice, comfortable daily driver that's nimble, but has good visibility, and it's just a nice, practical car. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. What do you guys think about the looks, the value, the price, all this stuff? How does it stack in? Would you consider getting one of these? Let me know. We'll talk about it. See you guys in the next video. Take care.